Hello everyone. Today let us look at how to install EKS. So we'll be deploying a cluster on EKS. So as you know, EKS is the Elastic Kubernetes service from Amazon. Okay, so it's more of a managed service where you just need to deploy it using a cluster. You don't need to manually manage like the overall Kubernetes deployment. Okay. So we will go through the steps and we will use the AWS GUI for doing it, for the installation, right? So I'm logged into my AWS account and this is the page. Okay, so I don't have any clusters here for now. So, there are a couple of requirements for creating a cluster. We will go through them step by step, right? So let's start with the deployment. Okay, so to create I will do add cluster, create, right? So I have to get the cluster name. I will say dev cluster. Okay, Kubernetes version, this is the latest. I will take one less, 1.23. So we can probably look at upgrading this cluster as well, because if we do it if we deploy it at 1.23, then the EKS will give me a message that hey, your new cluster is available, you need to upgrade. So I need to then then I need to upgrade the cluster. So we can actually look at the upgradation later. So that's why I will go for 1.23, right? Next is I need a service role. Okay, so for the service role now I need to create a cluster role first. For the cluster role, this is what we need. We need to create a role that has Amazon EKS cluster policy. So I don't have that role right now. So I will go to IAM. So in the tab, I have this IAM. Okay, I will go to roles and then I will create role. Okay, AWS service, yes. Okay, so what other service do we need? I will say EKS next. So this is Amazon EKS service role policy and Amazon EKS cluster role policy. So I need the Amazon EKS cluster. Okay, Amazon EKS cluster policy, Amazon EKS cluster policy. So I will create this role. Yeah. Next, I'll say dev EKS cluster role. Okay. Then if I want to add a tag, I can add a tag, otherwise I can just create a role. Okay, so my dev EKS cluster role is created now. Now if I go back to my tests here, I'll do a refresh. I can see my dev EKS cluster role. Next is secret encryption. So I will just leave it as default for now. Okay, now I need a VPC as well, right? So for EKS, we can actually deploy a new VPC. Either I can do it in my default VPC, otherwise I can go and create a new VPC. Okay, so to create a VPC, I can use CloudFormation. So AWS has given us a couple of formats. Okay, so there are predefined templates that can be used for creating the VPC. So this is from the AWS website. Okay, you can of course create your own template, and if you have your VPCs and all, of course you will use that, but I will just go for a template for this demonstration. I will just create a sample VPC using the AWS templates that are available already, right? So template is ready. This one I will say next EKS demo. Okay, and these are the VPC. Next is IAM rule, so I don't need to. Next is this one. So all these private public subnets will be created, and then I will go and click submit. So now we will see that my EKS demo is, the VPC is getting created here, and I can look at the events. So it will tell you what it is creating here. It will create the VPC, and I think I can click on VPC. So it is creating this EKS demo VPC. It will take a little while, I think. It won't. Yeah, so it's still creating a few things, but it won't take that long. It should be fairly quick because it's a predefined template, cloud formation, so it's all automated. So I can just click here and monitor it. So I can see here this is the demo VPC, and then I click on the subnets. I can see these are my EKS. So these are the subnets that are getting created for this particular demonstration. Okay, so I'll just go here. It's still creating a couple of things. You can go on events. So it's just creating the NAT gateway. VPC it has created, route table, security groups. So a whole lot of things are actually created if you use this automated cloud formation stack. So I will just wait for a while for it to get created. Events, resources, so I can see that all these are getting created. This is here creating NAT gateway. Yeah, so NAT gateway takes a little bit of time actually. Outputs, parameters, this was the template that was getting used. So NAT gateway is complete. So alright, let's look at it again. So I think it is just going to finish in a while. It's taking a while for it to get created, so we'll have to wait, but its creation is completed now. So alright, so now this is completed. Now I will come back here and I will do a refresh, and I can see the demo VPC. So now I've selected the demo VPC. It automatically took the subnets, right? Security groups, I will take this security group from this one. Then do you want a cluster endpoint? I will say public and private both. Okay, then I will click on next. So if you want, you can enable these parameters, but I won't enable anything for now. I will go for next. So all these things will be created. It will create a kube proxy, core DNS, and CNI for networking. Okay, these are for networking, and all these three are required. Okay, so what is the version? Right, fine, I will take it as default. So next is this one. So this is my final configuration. I can see that this cluster will be created and this will be the networking. Logging and add-ons, and I can click on create. So once I click on create, I can see that my cluster will get created here. So guys, I'm just creating the cluster right now, so it won't have any nodes, right? So first we need to create a cluster, then we need to add nodes to it. So it will take couple of minutes for this cluster to get provisioned. Okay, but once it is done, so you can see the pods here, pods templates. Once you deploy things, you can actually see all the things from here. Daemon set jobs, cron jobs, cluster, how many nodes are there, so a lot of things are actually available from here. Networking, add-ons, authentication, logging, update, tags. So it is getting created. So we'll have to wait until it gets created here.